There's no doubt that the Andrew football program came from humble beginnings. When the school opened in 1977, it had to field only freshman and sophomore teams. The games were played at neighboring school Sandburg, as the bleachers were not yet finished in Tinley Park. Head coach Jim DeLisa led the freshman and sophomore programs to some exciting victories. However, the program still took its lumps from some of the more established surrounding teams. In 1978, Andrew would play its first varsity season under the leadership of Coach Jon Zaghloul. The team began its competition in the SICA South Conference. Assisted by Greg Minter and Tom Leahy, Coach Zaghloul and his team would open up with a tie against St. Joseph's of Westchester. The referees forgot to play the overtime period, and Andrew would begin its history with an 0-0-1 record. Victories were hard to come by, but the program was establishing star power with the likes of Mike Hickman, Greg Mitchell, Todd Waldeer, Lenny Davenport, and Pat Hurley. After the first season, the team finished with an 0-8-1 record. The games were hard fought by a team without a senior class. Injuries and a thin roster would wear the team down eventually. Regardless of the record, though, this was the first Andrew football team. They laid the foundation for what was to follow. The program would get better in year two. Although the team did not achieve victory, the games were more competitive, and the Andrew community could feel the momentum as the young men grinded out game after game. And the Thunderbolts were finally able to play their games in Tinley Park. The new stadium was finished and ready for action. The opening to year three was just as difficult, but finally, on October 10, 1980, behind their new star Jim Dwyer, they defeated Kankakee Westview 19-6 for the school's first victory. The program had a shot in the arm, and the results were getting better. And as the new seasons began, signs of hope and positivity surrounded the new school. In 1982, Ray Kroll was named the second head coach in team history, and the team found their record improving, partly due to the local teacher strikes. The program accepted forfeits, however, they were also making progress as a team. Tom Feasel was the new talented quarterback and led the Thunderbolts to some hard-fought victories. The team was so close, but they were still finding some unique ways to lose games. Lights were finally erected at the Thunderdome. Friday Night Football was born in the growing suburb. The program reached a new level, but there was still another corner to turn. And in April of 1986, the school hired Coach Mike O'Neill. Coach O'Neill was successful at St. Lawrence and Burbank, and he was about to bring that success to Tinley Park. Although the team was still mired in below 500 seasons, the games were much more exciting, and they were battling with the area's more powerful programs such as Lincoln Way, Bolingbrook, Lockport, and Romeoville. Then finally, in 1988, the team posted a 14-7 victory against State Power Marian Catholic, and suddenly the opponents were starting to take notice. This was a game that put the T-Bolts on the map. Late season wins against Romeoville and Bolingbrook gave the program their first conference championship, first winning season, and first playoff berth. And on Wednesday, November 2nd, 1988, the team defeated the York Dukes by the score of 10-7 on their home field for their first ever playoff victory. They were dancing in the streets of Tinley Park, that is, until Pekin came to town and ended the unforgettable season. The team fought hard but came up just short, losing by the score of 21-14. The following year, the team posted its second winning season on record, but failed to make the playoffs at 5 wins and 4 losses. However, the 1990 team got the momentum back with an 8-1 record, but fell to HF in the first round of the IHSA playoffs. Quarterback Brian Ganser and fullback Mike Barth led the offense, catapulting the team into another level of success. In 1991, the program would post its most successful season with a 12-1 record. Exciting playoff wins against Brother Rice and Thornwood would set up a meeting with State Power East St. Louis. The team fought hard but came up short on a muddy field. The team was led by quarterback J.R. White and linebacker Ben Kotwika. The next few seasons were up and down. The team made the playoffs in 92 and 93, losing in the early rounds to Joliet Catholic and St. Lawrence, respectively. Thunderbolts had some close calls the next few seasons, just missing the playoffs. The Revis Rams of Burbank would prove to be a thorn in their side. But in 1997, with the help of 2 sophomores, Vince Massett and P.J. Miller, the team grinded through the schedule and squeaked into the playoffs at 6-3. After losing the last 2 games of the season, the team surprised us with another run of victories that put them into the semifinals for the second time in school history. It all started with a stunning upset over an 8-1 Waubonsie Valley team and ended with a loss to their rival, the Lincoln Way Knights. Linebacker Nick Kresniak and fullback Tim Brock were also standouts on this team. Again, the Thunderbolts were just 2 wins away from a state championship. The 98 and 99 teams had successful seasons and made the playoffs only to lose in the early rounds. 2004, the team produced its second undefeated season in program history. The newfound rivalry with Sandburg began with a loss in the first round of the playoffs. This was the first ever meeting between the two schools at the varsity level. After the 2005 season, Coach O'Neill resigned from his post after 20 years, and it was time for a new leader. His 131 wins as an Andrew head coach are still far and away the most ever in the school's history. The next teams were led by Coach Jim Zimmer, who returned the team to the playoffs in 2007. Mark McDermott and Pat Wertz led the team to its first playoff win since 1998. Jim Malik, who took over for Zimmer in 2011, had the team in the playoffs in all three of his seasons from 2011 to 2013. And the program saw one of its most powerful players in the likes of running back Jarvion Franklin. An Andrew alum, Dave Connell, returned for 2 seasons to coach and was followed up by today's current leader, Adam Lewandowski. The program had some up and down seasons, but managed to make the playoffs in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2022. The Black and Gold have made their mark on the state of Illinois. From winless seasons to brushes with state championships, after 47 years of football, there are many who are proud to call themselves T-Bolts. Raise the flags for Andrew high and lift your spirits to the sky.